Loud little ducky coming through, speaking truth, unabashed, calling out the liars, debunking falsehoods with a blast. I ain't afraid to say what's real, won't ever hold back. Gonna shake the system up, turn it all off track. I see through the smoke, the mirrors in the disguise, expose their hidden agenda. No more room for their lies. The truth is my weapon, I won't let it be concealed. I'm the voice for the voiceless, no longer gonna yield. In a world full of deception, I'm here to set it straight, bringing justice to the forefront. Won't accept their twisted fate. They may try to silence me, but my voice will still prevail. Sparking revolution, it's a truth-telling tale.
Welcome, everybody. Um, it has been a long time since I have done this. Um, so let's just jump in. Eventually, people will join, hopefully, and if they don't, well, then they can catch it on replay. So I have not posted too much. I haven't really had the time. I've been sick. My household has been sick, and so doing lives has been really difficult. Even sometimes getting videos done has been difficult, but we are going to be doing better with that in this coming year. I have ideas on how to do that. And so we're going to be bringing more content than we had in the last like month or two. So, some things I wanted to discuss. We have things that have been going on in the Owens. Laura Owens just doing absolutely everything to be relevant in all the wrong ways. I'm hoping everybody can hear me. Let's turn background music off. That's why that automatically goes on. Okay. So we're going to go over two articles that are out about her dad, and in the form that they are currently in. I know that it has been edited several times and that what they have written is still not correct. Um, and journalists talk about having journalist integrity and, YouTubers that are reporting on news. We just don't have journalistic integrity. And it's sad when, sadly, YouTube and people that report news or are reporting on a subject or lawyers that are covering a case have more knowledge and receipts and facts than people that it's supposed to be their job with these huge media companies. It's really sad. It's embarrassing, to say the least. A lot of this article editing has reminded me of the Taylor Lorenz um, situation when she could not edit the article to say the correct facts to save her life in the death we heard stuff. And it's just not a good look. Um, so we were going over that. Um, the appeal, the response to the appeal should be coming soon. Woodnick should be coming out soon, so that we will do as well and be covering that. And so let's jump into um, the first article. Um, or how to do all this again. All right. So let's go to this one first. Audios. I'm going to share audio on this. Okay. So let's try and change the background. Okay. So this one is the Mercury News and it says Owen's friends set up a GoFundMe amid health challenges. Mm, And this is written by Martha Ross. It was updated, last updated January 3rd, 2025. And so it's California news and all that because he was a San Francisco person. So this is a family that's courtesy of Ron Owens. And it says friends and family of longtime Bay Area radio icon Ron Owens have set up a GoFundMe to help alleviate the financial toll he's dealing with amid profound health struggles. Well, he has had profound health struggles for a while. And why now do you need a GoFundMe? And to me, before you go the GoFundMe route, maybe sell off things that you don't need anymore. Maybe his health concerns and his needs should have gone before his daughter's tantrums. Since 2014, the former KGO 810 talk show radio host shared that he had been living with Parkinson's disease since 2001. In a Facebook post on Tuesday, New Year's Eve, Owens revealed that life has thrown a few punches his way, four bouts of cancer, most recently colon cancer, and some serious heart issues, which stinks. I don't wish that on anybody. It's been a rough road, and honestly, it's hard to admit that the financial strain has become overwhelming on top of everything else, said Owens, who left the station in 2021. And it stinks. He eventually retired, probably due to health reasons, because he probably would have still been going. Says for 48 years, I poured my heart into KGO, sharing stories, sparking conversations, and connecting with you all. Owens continued to say he never imagined he would be in a position where he would need to ask for financial help. But here I am, asking for a little bit of help from the community that has meant so much to me. In an interview, Owens and his wife, Jan Black, now living in Arizona, said that they're aware that some might question need why they'd be in need of financial help, or some might even wonder if the GoFundMe campaign is a scam, given that Owens made a good living as a radio broadcaster. Yes, some might wonder, but also it's not. Yeah, we have good reason to think it's a scam. And so the fact that that even comes to your mind, Jan, that, "Oh, people are gonna think this is a scam." Why would they think that, Jan? Because you and your daughter have scammed people for over a decade. Maybe you weren't in on it for a decade, but you have enabled the behavior. You have also let her continue to use your money in her tantrums for people not wanting to be in relationships with her. So, yeah, because you should still have that money, but you let your daughter use up your money that y'all now need in your later years of life. Your daughter should be funding this, not the community. But Black said even their medical insurance, Medicare, and long-term care insurance couldn't cover all the residual healthcare expenses following multiple health crises. which also included pneumonia and COVID-19. Um, I was on Medicaid, Medicare. I was on disability for a long time, and they covered my pneumonias. They covered my 2 spouts of hospital stays for COVID. They cover every surgery and procedure I had. Excuse me. Um, so they cover all these things. Another thing is that you've been dealing with this since 2021, so 4 years. Every year, they start over and covering things. Like, you meet your deductible, and then, they pay, and then the next year, guess what? You have to do a deductible again, and so your amount that you can spend every year starts over. It's not like, "Hey, you only have this much until you're dead, and after that, we don't cover anything anymore." That's not how the insurance works. Um, Now will they, um, pay for wants? No, and a want may be a live-in healthcare provider, a live-in nurse. Um, that is not a necessity. Um, there he could go live he could be put in a nursing home or someplace where somebody could take care of him. There are things that insurance companies will cover. I also can understand why they would wanna do that. But when you can't afford wants, you just have to take you need and so that he has the proper care. All of us would love to just have in-home health stuff and not have to be put into a facility because many facilities are awful, but sometimes you do what you gotta do and what your finances can afford. Um, Over the past couple years, Owen spent up to 6 months in the hospital. Is that 6 months total for an entire year? Like, if you add up every single hospital visit, it equals 6 months? Or was he in the hospital for 6 months straight? 'Cause that that is crazy. That's a long, long time. When he returned home, he needed an in-home caregiver. Well, they pay for somebody to come check in on you here and there. My grandma had that. They have home health aides and people like that that come and check on you and all stuff, everything like that. They You can have therapies at your home. They will br You can have an occupational therapist come, you can have a regular, like, physical therapist. You can have those things in your homes, and a lot of times will get covered. But y'all want it all to be in home, and sometimes you have to let him go to a facility where he can be treated, he can have all these things, even if it's not in your home. The article continues on to say, "At one point, Black said Owens was given 6 months to live, but he's beaten the odds." That is great. I'm glad he did. I'm glad his family got more time with him. I don't even want to know how Owens is gonna start reacting when if she loses her father, whenever that might be. Hopefully, it's way down the line, but it might not be. Says, now they're gratified by the support they've received by people donating to the GoFundMe campaign. It truly was a last resort. No, it's not a last resort. You still own Quartet Farms. Your daughter could get a job. Even though she can't have the job she wants, McDonald's is always hiring, and it's a paycheck. but I would understand that's beneath you. But this is not a last resort, and you should not have blown all your money on your daughter, whether it was gambling debts, whatever. This is why you shouldn't let your kid throw a tantrum and just enable them, because now you're stuck with nothing, and you don't get to live the life you wanna live, that you earned all the money. He worked hard, put all that time in, and for what? He has nothing at the end of the day, and granted, you can't take your money with you, but he has nothing to show for it anymore, and some of it might be his fault, but I know a lot of it has to do with his daughter as well, because she didn't fund anything by herself. She's made nothing of herself on her own. She uses her parents' notoriety to be what she is. She did not do anything individually. She is nothing without her parents' last name. During much of this time at KGO, Owens was arguably the Bay Area's most influential voice in radio, as the station was the top radio outlet in the region. Owens certainly was the station's most prominent host, leading live call-in discussions with listeners about the most pressing issues in Bay Area news and national news, culture, and entertainment. For much of his time at KGO, Ron Owens' program aired weekday mornings, making him a drive-by legend, not just here, but around the country. He also was elected to both the National Radio Hall of Fame and the Bay Area Hall of Fame, which is great. Owens was the voice that guided and entertained and inspired countless listeners on KGO 810. Friends and family set on the page for his GoFundMe campaign, which has a goal of 60,000. That goal is well over 100,000 now, and they've reached it. They reached 60,000. Hello, Bruce. So they've raised the goal, which fine. I think if they needed 60,000, they should just cut it off at 60,000. Because but now they're gonna be like, "Ah, we'll take anybody's money because we money for hopefully paying off debts that they owe to other people." If Ron's voice has ever brought you comfort, sparked a meaningful conversation, or simply made you smile, now is the time to show your love and gratitude. They also said every donation, no matter the size, will help Ron and his family navigate this difficult time. His I don't know about his family navigating this difficult time. He needs he needs the stuff that he needs, um, and it would be one thing if that was just what was about. A radio person or even, like, content creators, um, people on television, they enjoy, you think that you get to know them and hear about their life and everything, and while it may be touching, it may have done something for you in your life, a lot of what he has done, some of that has been erased because of his daughter. Among those who made very generous donations is former KGO colleague, technological reporter Leo Laporte. "You made such a difference to everyone in the Bay Area and me personally," Laporte wrote in a comment following his $1,000 donation. "Hang in there, buddy. We love you," which that's great. Walnut City Creek council member Kevin Wilk also donated 100, writing on Owen's Facebook page, You've not only been a voice of reason, but a good person through and through. It's a sad state of health of our healthcare system that people find themselves in this position." That is true. I mean, we have a insurance CEO who was murdered because well, a crazy person, but his reasoning behind it, if it is him, whoever did it is because our healthcare system sucks in America. I deal with that every day. Um, I just had to deal with that today. I had a doctor's appointment today, and I have to pay a lot of money for my medicines and for my doctor's visits, um, because healthcare is expensive and they cover and don't cover a lot of things. Um, it's just the way it is. When Owens first went public about being diagnosed with Parkinson's, which is a horrible condition to have, my aunt had that. It is a horrible condition. He said he was moved to do so after Robin Williams' wife initially reported that the actor and comedian had the disease. CF Gate reported at the time her disclosure came a few days after Williams died by lightning. But I felt it was important to tell people that you can have it like I have for 12 and a half years and not be severely impacted by it, Owen said about his condition. It's possible, and it's not a death sentence. It was later revealed that Williams actually had been suffering with Lewy body dementia, a progressive disease that causes decline in mental abilities and mobility. Owen said he kept Parkinson's private because I just can't stand the thought of people feeling sorry for me. He also said that he didn't want to be defined by his Parkinson's. And that's great. He shouldn't want to be. And that's the thing, people with disabilities and illnesses, you are not defined by those. Yeah, you have them there. They it's a part of your life, but it's not all you are. A person with cancer, not just a person with cancer. They have cancer, but they're also a go-getter and a loving mother and a wife or a loving husband. Like, they are just an amazing person or a person with a condition. And I get it, you don't want people to feel sorry, you don't wanna be treated different. He wants to go into work just like he has and just be Ron Owens, not Ron Owens with Parkinson's. Completely understand where he's coming from there. When Owens left KGO in 2021, he issued a statement saying, "I can't put into words how much I value the connection I've made with so many of you who have listened over or called into my show, written emails, and even snail mail were posted on my Facebook page. We've laughed, cried, gotten angry, and been puzzled by events we've seen unfold in the world. He also said together we tried to make sense of it all and share ideas as to how we can make things better. You should have started in your casitas, sir." The following year, Cumulus Media, the owners of KGO, abruptly announced that it was ending the station's news talk format. Owens expressed resignation over the format change, nothing that listening habits have changed, with people no longer rely on terrestrial radio to get traffic and weather reports. No. But I remember you needed to make sure that you had you need to make sure you had your news on before you left, um, to maybe hear about some traffic or maybe make sure you get the weather. Um, I remember, like, school closings, you just had to sit there and hope that you got there and were able to see your school, like, go across the bottom of the news, um, and if you missed it, then you had to go through the whole alphabet and then just try to see it again. It was a pain, and now, like, when my kids were in school, all I had to do was check Facebook or they would send out a text. I don't have to get up at, 5, 6 AM to watch the TV to find out if my kid's school was canceled. Way different. Um, Traffic, we listened to it in the radio. They would share the traffic during rush hour times, and we would know that. Now we just have it on our app. Been coming home from work, every day, I will plug in, like, I will put the home and I will let it tell me, "Do I wanna take this way or do I wanna take that way?" Because I can see how much traffic and if there's accidents and things like that, construction going on. We're not getting it from radio and TV anymore like we used to. Um, Times have definitely changed, and they have to change with the times. Alright. So that is the first article. Hello, Stephanie B. So that article is just like the basic. There wasn't anything about Laura Owens. It was simply just talking about Ron Owens and his career that he had in radio and the lives that he touched back then. So once we did that, now let's go into San Francisco Chronicle. This is the one that honestly I think just gave up. They were trying to please the the Owens family. They don't wanna set them off for whatever reason, and tell the truth, and then they're trying to keep the story correct, but they can't keep it correct because then the Owens family would be mad. Um, I don't know why, and so they just kept editing and editing and editing, and then now I think he's like, "Story is what the story is." Um, if it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm tired of dealing with it. I think that's what has happened in this. Alright, so let's, um, bring that. Alright. Oh, this is oh, jeez. It's not what I wanted. Okay, present, share screen. Let's alright, San Francisco Chronicles. Okay, San Francisco Chronicle. Aiden, not even gonna try to say his last name. Bay Area radio legend faces health and financial struggles after decades on air. This was last updated on January 4th, and this is still I think that they gave up because here we are several days later, and it just is what it is. This photo says Ron Owens talks with callers after announcing he is leaving KGO on March 31st, 2016 in San Francisco. Beloved Bay Area radio personality who shaped the airwaves for nearly 5 decades says he is facing significant financial hardship after enduring a series of health challenges. The article starts with Ron Owens, the beloved Bay Area radio personality who shaped the airwaves for nearly 5 decades, says he is facing significant financial hardship after enduring a series of health challenges. The 79-year-old former KGO host, whose voice became synonymous with San Francisco talk radio, revealed in a Facebook post on New Year's Eve that his ongoing battle with Parkinson's disease, along with multiple bouts of cancer, heart issues, and recent hospitalizations, have left him struggling to keep up with medical costs. Life has thrown a few more punches my way, Owens wrote on Tuesday, December 31st. It's been a rough road, and honestly, it's hard to admit that the financial strain has become overwhelming on top of everything else. And why is there financial strain in this family? We know one reason if you've been covering the daughter, if you've been following along with Laura Owens and all her lawsuits and temper tantrums and stuff that she throws that costs the family a lot of money. And she doesn't have a job, so who's footing the bill? Her parents. Mm. Owens, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2001, retired from KGO in 2021, shortly before the station's longtime news talk format was disbanded. continued. A fixture in the Bay Area media landscape, KGO had been the region's top-rated radio station for decades, with Owens hosting influential guests like President Barack Obama and the Israeli Prime Minister during his tenure. Oh, Lord. Owen's gonna be like, "I'm gonna call the president. I know former presidents, and they know the FBI. I am just gonna call them. They will get you." Before launching his presidential bid, Barack Obama appeared as a guest on Ron Owen's radio program at KGO in San Francisco in October of 2006. For much of his career, KGO was the station where the Bay Area daily news agenda was set, and Owens was its trusted voice. For 48 years, I poured my heart into KGO, sharing stories, sparking conversations, and connecting with you all, Owen said. Despite his long-standing success, Owens acknowledged that he never imagined a time when he would need financial assistance. I can imagine. But here I am asking for a little help from the community that has meant so much to me, the former host of the Ron Owens program said. A member of both the National Radio Hall of Fame and Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame, Owens has seen his health decline over the years with Parkinson's disease, complicating his recovery from other illnesses, including COVID and pneumonia. Sir, you were cured of those. And yes, when your immune system is weakened, it does make the recovery harder. For most people, pneumonia and strep and flu, you just get a Z-Pack and get your medicine and go. For people with immune compromised things, which Owens obvious Ron Owens obviously deals with, myself included, that lands me a week in the hospital. Flu, strep, pneumonia, things that people deal with just at home. You just get over it. It's hospital and oxygen and IVs and fluids and medications. And so I can understand it, and it does take a toll on you, and your health does decline, and it makes complications in getting better when you have to deal with your regular like, he deals with his regular Parkinson's and stuff, and then you add, pneumonia or COVID or something on top of those, it just makes symptoms of, like, the Parkinson's or whatever else you have, for me, it's autoimmune, that much more difficult. Through his symptoms Though his symptoms have progressed moderately, the strain of multiple health setbacks has proved financially and emotionally taxing, even with Medicare and medical long-term care coverage. Friends and family have set up a GoFundMe. I don't think it was friends and family. I think it was his daughter. Although, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll get to that in just a second. GoFundMe to help Owens cover this mounting medical expenses, including a recent extended hospital stay. The goal is set for 60,000. We know that they have exceeded that, and it's last I saw it was 100,000 was the goal, and they may have reached that and may have even set it higher now. Owens, now living in Arizona with his wife, Jan Black, expressed his gratitude for the support, thanking the community that has been integral to his career. Among notable contributors are former KGO colleague Mo Laporte, Santa Clara attorney Todd Rothbard, and former state Senate Jerry Hill of San Mateo. Now, the GoFundMe, if I remember correctly, was set up by an LL. I even made a joke about it being Lying Laura, um, or Laura and using a different last name or something. I'm wondering if it was actually Leo Laporte, whatever his name is, his former colleague at the radio station, LL. Maybe he set it up, and that's why his donation was, like, maybe one of the first or initially one of the highest at $1,000. And it would make sense if he set it up for Ron Owens, and then after he set it up, he donated his $1,000, and it was set up by LL. That is what I am going to. Yes, exactly. I really do not, this writer can't upset the Owens family. Like, if they spoke the truth in this article, I don't know if they're afraid of getting sued, if it's the writer is afraid of getting sued or the writer is afraid of getting fired. He makes them mad because maybe they know somebody high up with San Francisco Chronicle or what. But there is a reason they will not correct this article to speak the truth. And, news stations or newspapers, places, mainstream media, although they shouldn't be political, there's no political stuff in it. They choose a side of a story, and we saw this a lot in the Depp v. Heard stuff, you would think, but he might not have wanted that. It is weird. I don't know who LL is, but it could be Laura's another Laura alias, or maybe it's this Leo guy. Uh, but there's politics and they choose a side, and when they choose a side, whether it's because there's somebody knows somebody or somebody is a huge supporter and, uh, financially support the media, whether it's NBC, any of this stuff, you have to please the people that are behind the company. And so, even though the story might be wrong, they still cannot be like, "Well, we backed Amber Heard, and now we can't just go and say that we were wrong." Oh, no. Okay. Nobody summons you. They're so far into, "This is where we stand, and we have to stand on this, and we can't change our mind," even though changing our mind would be the truth. Well, thank you, RJ. So, but there's something behind this Chronicle thing, I think. This runs way deeper as to why this doesn't get corrected. And I don't know what San Francisco Chronicle is afraid of or just author Aiden. Are they afraid that they will go after him? Will they ruin his career? Because I know people, the cult, if they went after him for reporting the truth, we would back this guy and make sure that he was covered and not ruined like they try to ruin everybody else. And so it's got pictures of Ron when he was young in, like, 1975. That's a hairy chest there. Button your shirt, sir. It says, "If Ron's voice has ever brought you comfort, sparked a meaningful conversation, or simply made you smile, now is the time to show your love and gratitude." The statement on his GoFundMe page reads, "Every donation, no matter the size, will help Ron and his family navigate this difficult time." What difficult time? Is is it because of the health stuff, or is it because y'all are in financial ruins because of your daughter? And you should have, I would just be putting receipts. They're not going to, but That's just the way it is. Here's the update to the story. The story has been updated to remove details related to legal proceedings involving Ron Owen's daughter that are still pending because he couldn't get the details right, which is ridiculous because all you have to do is pull the publicly available documents to get your story correct. And so instead, he's just gonna leave it like the Mercury News people did and just make it about Ron. But the reason they need this financial help for his health very much relates to his daughter's legal proceedings. But let's remove it. Aiden just gave up. Instead of reporting truth, he decided to just give up. He couldn't be bothered with it anymore. Journalistic integrity? I think not. Do better, Aiden. Do better. This this is ridiculous. Let me see if I can pull another thing up. Mm, okay, I wanted to hmm, I wanted to go over the audio of her new podcast trailer. Exactly, Stephanie, like, so much money has been used for that. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna remove and stop sharing. Okay. So those are the 2 articles I definitely wanted to discuss for sure. Now I am if anybody has the trailer for the podcast, um, you can if you can send a link to it, that would be great so that we can go over it. Um, I wanted to dang, I should have had some of this stuff pulled up. Just 1 second. Yeah, if you can send it to me, I would love to listen to it because I haven't listened to it. I wonder if it'll let me search. We can pull this up too. Hmm, this is interesting. Really, they haven't put out many. If you can send it to me on Twitter, that would probably be the easiest. Let's see here. Okay. We're also going to go over this because this is just a catch up on everything because I have the time to do that today. And we have not done this in so long, so we're just on a lot of stuff. I can't imagine how embarrassed we learned about Chris Honey reaching out to Uncle Joe about the game. Yeah, like they just use everything. That's why I was joking about Laura being like, I'm just gonna call the former president for cyberbullying. That was the other thing I wanted to go over. So we're gonna go over that. Let's see here. Present, share screen, and is this- yes. Okay. So we are going to go over this. What is cyberbullying? Because somebody needs to know what this is. It's not being used. Cyberbullying involves sharing or sending false, harmful, or nasty content about someone online. Nothing that we have been sharing has been false. I don't see how it can be harmful because it's just speaking about a story. And it's not nasty content. We know that. We're not out there putting nasty stuff out. We are asking for the truth. We're reporting on the truth. That's just how it is. It can include sharing or shaming someone else by sharing their personal information. We didn't share personal information. We shared publicly available documentation, things that are available to the public. They made public themselves. So we don't meet that either. And can cross the line into becoming unlawful. Well, the only unlawful person in this scenario is the one claiming they are being cyberbullied. So we're not doing that. Well, at least I'm not. And I would say that most of us aren't. There might be some cray crays out there that are doing things that they shouldn't be doing or too much. That is not where I'm at. And most of the people that I talk to and follow that report on this, that's just not what we're doing. The intention of cyberbullying is malicious. Nope, there's no maliciousness here. Nobody is trying to just get somebody. We are trying to make sure that the record is straight and that somebody doesn't get away with telling false narratives. Threatening in nature. Nope, nobody is threatening. Okay, maybe there are people. Personally, I think she's threatening herself, which other than the, like, publicly known s self-threats to herself, but the ones where she's like, "We got a DM that said that we should" just die. I think she emailed those to herself. Um, I don't know for sure, but and if somebody is out there doing it, do not do that. We actually just want her to get better and stop lying. So no malicious, no threatening in nature, and has the ability to do emotional, psychological, and sometimes even physical harm. I don't see how reporting on a story does I mean, it can the person that caused the emotional and psychological damage is the person who created this narrative, not the people that are just telling the story. It's just you're the girl who cried wolf. You brought it on yourself, and nobody's trying to physically harm you. You are putting yourself through emotional torture and psychological torture by paying to be in people's Patreons, by continually watching videos on YouTube, looking at the Reddit, just being on constantly and making this your whole entire life. You are doing all of the damage and harm to yourself because if you weren't out here looking at this stuff or looking for it and Googling yourself every day, you wouldn't even hear this stuff because nobody is like, "Hey, let me I'm gonna send all this to you." Nobody's sending this stuff to her. She's coming across it because she's searching for it, plain and simple. So, that is cyberbullying. That is the definition of it. And I'm tired of being used wrong by her, but she does everything wrong. So, it is what it is. Alright, let me now let me see here. Twitter. Yes. Okay. Yay. Alright. I'm going to now put that, send it to myself. I think I have to put these alright. More in depth I read, the more that's covered Laura and her family. Yep. It, privilege for sure. I don't know if Ron Owens came from privilege himself or Jan Black came from privilege themselves, but Owens and her sister were raised privileged. Um, I don't know what her sister is done or is doing as a family, but Owens has done nothing for herself. She uses her father's fame and last name to get where she is. She has done nothing in her own right. She's done nothing independently. It's always been off the back of her parents, and if she's not trying to get a leg up by being from an influential person, then she's just mooching off them and being a freeloader. Like, she does nothing for herself. "Oh, I had a podcast." The podcast was with off the back of your dad. That's it. Your dad is who made you. Did I do this? Hold on now. Is this okay. Alright. Now let's pull up hopefully the audio doesn't get weird with me having these headphones on. All right. Here we go. Your screen. Okay. So here is the Somebody Told You podcast. And it says, okay, welcome to Somebody Told You, because I can't come up with a more creative title than just changing the first word in my previous podcast of Nobody Told You. The podcast that fights back against public judgment, fabricated narratives, and the toxic culture of online speculation. Where's the speculation when we have receipts? It's hosted by Laura Owens, who faced a vicious public smear campaign. No, it was not vicious, and you started your own public smear campaign. After filing a paternity case against the bachelor Clayton Echard, this podcast reveals what happens when your private life becomes public entertainment. You made this public entertainment. Oh, yes. Yes, he does. Content creators monetized her pain. Ma Monetized her pain? You mean your own? Whose podcast is this? Is this hers? Because why is she saying her pain when it should be my pain? Eh, strangers twisted her story into conspiracy theories. Honey, the only conspiracy theories is and they're not conspiracy theories, they're just delusions in your head that you like to live in. You like to live in La La Land where everything is about you, and that's just not reality. A cult-like audience turned her existence into a target, attacking her reputation, her relationships, and even her no, we did not. Who wrote this? And who is on this podcast? Is this Gingras' podcast? Or is this it says hosted by Laura Owens. So why is she writing it like this is about somebody other than herself? Now, Laura is here to set the record straight, not just about her own life, but for anyone who's ever been misrepresented, misunderstood, or vilified. Okay. You're the one who misrepresented yourself. You're not misunderstood. And you made yourself the villain. Yes. Bruce does very good with the breakdowns and stuff. Very logical. I just this the way it's written is just very weird because it's written like it's not written by her with raw honesty. When has she ever been honest? And definitely has anything ever been raw honesty and powerful interviews. I'd love to see what powerful people maybe she can get former President Barack Obama on her show. She can get her FBI friends on the show. She says, "Somebody Told You" is about rising above the lies and reclaiming what's yours. Or she's trying to rise above the lies that she told, showing that you can still lie and then come out on top and still have things that you want, not the lies that anybody else told. Because behind every headline, there's a story they got wrong. Is there? These are the untold stories of misjudged lives. That's interesting that that is what she said. It's not misjudged. It's not. And you still have not shown facts. Well, we're going to listen to the trailer right now because I haven't listened to it and I want to listen to it and give a reaction. So if you don't want to listen to it, maybe mute it for 3 or mute it for a little bit. Um, okay, let's listen to this BS. If there was a transcript, I would just take the transcript, but there's not. And I wanna listen to this.
Hi, I'm Laura Owens, and welcome to Somebody Told You. This podcast is about reclaiming your truth when the world decides to rewrite your story. It's about standing up to the lies, the misconceptions, and the narratives other people create, and finding the courage to take your story back. I know that if you've heard of me, you've probably heard a version of my story that doesn't belong to me. Somebody told you I'm crazy. Somebody told you I faked a pregnancy. But let me tell you what they didn't. In 2023, I filed a paternity case against Clayton Eckerd. To the public, he's a former star of The Bachelor, but to me, he was just my realtor. I didn't want fame.
And it was not just your realtor. Not just your realtor. You you sought this man out because it was Ma I think it was Dave yesterday that made a really good point, and if it wasn't Dave, it was somebody else, I am sorry. But when they're looking to buy a house and things like that, why would you go to a stranger? Like, surely you know or your parents know a realtor that you could have used. Yes, RJ, completely believe that little conspiracy theory about her doing her fitness and wellness personal trainer stuff, and then her getting into, like, realty stuff, because nothing can be her own, nothing is original. That you looked for a brand new realtor? Because the only time I could think maybe going after a brand new realtor, yes, for such a big purchase, the only time you would go for a brand new realtor is if that realtor was your friend or family member, and you're like, "You know what? I want to support them. They just passed and got their realtor license. I am going to go for them, and I know that they will help me, and we can learn together and let's get their first sale or whatnot under their belt." You do not go just find an inexperienced realtor who is a stranger. To you, he was Clayton the bachelor, and you found a way in. You found out he lived in your area. So, no, he was not just a realtor. You've heard stories of my truth. Well, your truth is what you put out there. Everything we've reported on is from you. It's your document, your words, your attorney's words, who are actually considered your words because he represents you. We aren't reporting on somebody else's story. We're reporting on the things that you say. Everything has been your story this entire time. You just don't like that nobody believes you. It's just crazy. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense, but her math doesn't math ever. Alright, let's continue this.
or money. I just wanted to establish a parenting plan, something that felt responsible and very necessary. I had lab verified HCG, blood and urine tests to prove my pregnancy, and that's the pregnancy hormone that they test for. There was also a positive pregnancy test Clayton bought and watched me take, and he doesn't dispute any of this. Yet somehow the truth became irrelevant. This wasn't just
This truth did not become irrelevant. We have never said that your tests were not positive because the evidence that we have is that those tests were positive. Clayton agrees. You did P positive on a pregnancy test, that you did have HCG in your system in your blood draw. And when you went to Banner Urgent Healthcare, you did P positive for pregnancy there. Nobody has ever said you could not pee on a stick and show on a pregnancy test that you have a positive pregnancy test, you're positive for HCG. Nobody has ever said that you have lied about P positive. But just because you can P positive does not mean you are pregnant. You need to go to the doctor and make sure it's not an ectopic pregnancy. You need to make sure that it is a pregnancy because it can also be a sign of cancer, which we know she's faked too. But I, a person, after 14, 15 years of having a hysterectomy, I peed positive for a pregnancy test and had HCG. I even did a video on it saying, "I've had a hysterectomy, but I was positive for HCG, positive for pregnancy, but yet I was not pregnant because I don't have a uterus or ovaries to carry a baby anymore." Well, she should be for it. I mean, her dad had it. We know that she's supposedly faked cancer as well. Um, that was with Maraschini, I believe. But her claiming that nobody's believing that she peed positive, that's not true either. She still can't tell the truth while getting those parts. She's like, "Nobody believed that." No, we believed it.
a legal case, it became entertainment. Content creators picked up the story and turned it into monetized content, feeding a narrative to an audience eager to believe the worst in me. They ignored the facts, ignored medical evidence, and painted me as someone I'm not. And that audience, they didn't stop at listening. They became something that can only be described as a cult.
This is not only to be described as a cult. It's described as a group of people who have a common opinion. Yeah, that she wishes we ignored something, anything. The fact that we didn't ignore it is her problem. We I I do not make money on my videos. I can get super chats and things like that, super thanks if somebody doesn't have memberships. I do not get paid in AdSense. I do not I don't have a local or a Patreon, anything like that. So, not everybody is monetizing it. Some of us just have an opinion. Do not like hearing people lie. And what are you doing? You're monetizing your stuff too, but it's your life. And I don't know what you think mainstream media. You think the Sea of Chronicle and the Bay Mercury News, they aren't they're not monetizing your father's stuff? They wrote an article, they're being paid for that. But, oh, yeah, mainstream media, when they report on stuff, it's okay for those people to do it, but not just regular people. Yes, we would be here to support her if there was a shred of evidence proving that she honestly could have believed she was pregnant. Like, I would not like that she continued to lie, but if she had proof that she really thought she was pregnant, then I could be okay with that. But you do all these things and like, just like in criminal stuff, they're like, "You thought about covering up the crime. You changed the evidence, you tampered with it, you did all this knowingly." And if you were honestly thinking that you were pregnant, you wouldn't have been trying to tamper with evidence and do all that because everything would have spoke for itself. You wouldn't have to change anything to prove it because it would have just been the thing. If you think you are subscribed, make sure to check to see if you are subscribed. Um, like this video, obviously, share it out. Um, sometimes YouTube likes to unsubscribe people. But let's continue with this.
Now, when I say cult, I don't mean people in matching ropes chanting in basements. I mean a group of strangers bound together by a shared obsession with tearing me down. They dissected every detail of my life, called my friends and family, and harassed anybody connected to me. They even called in prank welfare checks just so they could obtain body cam footage and analyze it in monetized YouTube videos. They twisted every moment, every interaction into something sinister, and they latched onto the lies they were fed and made it their mission to destroy me.
Where are the lies that we have told, that Dave has told, as anybody has told? You still cannot point out what lies have been told. Bruce says this, "Please give me a timestamp, something." And if it doesn't mean that it's a lie, it could have been something that is misspoken. Tell us so we can correct it to make sure that we have the correct knowledge going out. We just need to generalize things. It's like, "Oh, I don't like you because you're ugly," or "I don't like you because you're fat." Like, it not, "Oh, I don't like her because this one time she said this." Like, you can't give anything. You did this to yourself. And what is a prank wellness check? You can't do a prank wellness check. A prank wellness check would be if somebody dressed up like a cop themselves, went knocked on her door, and was like, "Wellness check, just kidding." And they have a camera and they're like videoing it for their own fun. A wellness check, A real wellness check was called because you put out things talking about you wanting to hurt yourself. That is not a prank. S They were concerned about you, and they had a reason to call a wellness check. Whether it was somebody who is in this so-called JFC group, call whatever you wanna call it, it's not a prank because they wanted to make sure you weren't going to do that. Even though we don't like what you've done, we don't want you to hurt yourself. That's not a prank. I don't know what kind of pranks you did, but wellness checks are not a prank. Calling somebody on the phone anonymously and ask them if their refrigerator is running, and then when they say yes, and you tell them that then you should probably go catch it and then hang up. Those are pranks. Th This is not a prank. It was real, but you can't even admit that. Yes, she did say that, Amy. She just likes to be a victim in every story.
The stress of all of this was overwhelming. I had to ask myself every day if I could survive just another 5 minutes of this. I couldn't sleep and I could barely eat. My weight dropped into the 80s. I felt like I was disappearing, like I was losing myself piece by piece. And then came the court ruling. The judge issued a $149,000 judgment against me, claiming I acted in bad faith by filing the case. But
I
that
did.
judgment didn't reflect the truth of what happened. It reflected the chaos created by this smear campaign. Let me give you some context.
The smear campaign was not in court. The smear campaign did not we did not submit court documents. The attorneys, your attorney and Clayton's attorneys submitted things. Nothing going on in the outside YouTube world and people talking about this case did anything. That is not why this case turned out the way it did, because the case was built on evidence and facts. I am sorry that you feel like you're disappearing and you feel like you need to do everything one day at a time, but you did that to yourself. And wouldn't it be funny if all of us got matching robes and we met up in some room and just started chanting? I mean, it could be like, a cheer chant, like, from cheerleading, but if we all had matching robes and they just said JFC on the back and then we just did, like, a cheer routine, would that would that make us a cult even more? See, that would be a prank. That we can have purple you can have a purple robe. Um, that would be funny. Uh, uh, I don't know if she was a cheerleader, she was a dancer. I was a cheerleader. I also did, drill team. So, a lot of us have athletic pasts. I don't know how in shape we are now. Megan might be the most in shape person out of everybody. Um, but if we just all met up in a room that was blank, like just four-wall room and had matching robes and did a cheer. Um, but anyways, it's sad that her life is the way it is, and she has made it this way. It's nobody else's fault, and she needs to quit seeking out stuff to make her feel this way. She needs to step away, recover from this, get her health, mental health back to a place that is good. But a smear campaign did not decide a court case. Public opinion and a court ruling are not the same. I mean, you can see even when jurors decide on something, some of the public opinion may not agree with the jurors. A smear campaign did not convict these killers. Their actions and evidence did. There are plenty of people that have smear campaigns that also didn't commit a crime. And look, I mean, take Casey Anthony. Huge so-called, you wanna say, smear campaign. Nobody likes her, right? The public opinion and the hatred, and then the jurors, because it's a court of law, they didn't find her guilty. So the smear campaign did not make this judgment. It just didn't. None of us were witnesses, none of us submitted evidence, nothing. Everything was stuff that you had done, came from y'all. Right. Mm, most cases have split opinions, and this one doesn't. And we will cover a so-called split opinion, the one and only split opinion after this. A little bit left of this, let's finish it. Exactly.
The judge's father attended the hearing and sat with Clayton's supporters. And the judge's sister publicly follows Clayton on Instagram. And yet,
Can you non-publicly follow somebody on Instagram? Asking for a friend.
I'm the one accused of acting in bad faith. That judgment didn't just take a financial toll, it further obliterated my reputation. And the people who orchestrated this campaign got what they wanted. They turned my life into a spectacle and they profited from it. But I'm not done. With the appeals process now in motion, it feels like the right time.
Happened. Why is it green? Okay. I don't know why that's buffering. Um the appeals process in motion. But nothing was spent. He just sat at a chair in the overflow room. You can ask where the supporters were sitting. Like, he just didn't. Even my internet is like, I'm tired of this lady's BS. Okay, well, there's like less than a minute left, so let's just, I think we stopped sharing that. Okay. Now I'm gonna take this off. You want a purity robe? It, you can have a purple purity robe. Our color is going to be purple. We might can have two colors with white or black writing. Okay. Yes, Karen Reed has people. That is, I am fixing to drop a video. It might be tonight. If not, it will be tomorrow. Starting in on the timeline of the Karen Reed case. And the first one is going to be a who's who on Karen Reed. And it is not going to be a free Karen Reed side, and it is not going to be this woman is evil side. It is going to be, this is the timeline, these are the people, and what the story tells. The timeline is what the timeline is. The the things that are provable, the evidence, everything that we have, that is we are going to cover it that way. And I think a question is, in that case, is was there enough evidence to convict? Not whether she did it or whether she didn't do it. That's what every case is basically about. Is there enough evidence to prove that this person did the thing that you said that they did? Yes or no? That is why it is guilty and not guilty. It is not, there is not an option for innocence. That is what it is. We are that is going to be something that we are covering, in the future as well, and it's going to just be a, this is what it is. Smear campaign is, yes, it isn't, you started your own smear campaign by going to The Sun, by trying to go to Page 6 and all that. You started that, and your attorney is doing his own smear campaign of you, but you won't drop your attorney. Okay, now let's go to this last thing that I wanted to look at for this live, and that will kind of be us being caught up on some Owen stuff, because there's also the PS Creative. I hope they get their money back, and I hope they do take her to court. And what is that gonna do for the GoFundMe? She's gonna have to have money to fight the court battle for the chargeback and the fraudulent criminal action against the podcast studio. Like, yep, continue to raise that money because your family is going to need it. And sadly, it's not, it's like go to her father's health, which if that's what it needs to go to, it needs to go to, but she's gonna have another case. And then she's gonna possibly have a criminal case if Rachel Mitchell ever does what she should do. Yes, they have shown grace and respect for real survivors. Something else in the podcast that when it was being Dave did his video on it and was talking about it, um, she was like, "Oh, people's stories and, when they've not been told right or their stories have been stolen and retold." I'm like, "Are you gonna have the vanishing twin lady on there? Are you gonna have your sister on there to talk about her you stealing her sonogram?" I mean, you could also have the other victims on there as well, but, um and who wants to come on and talk to her? Like, who wants to still be associated with her? I that is gonna be interesting to see. The only guess she's gonna have is herself and maybe her attorney and maybe her mom or her dad. That's it. Yeah, and he's not gonna become he's not gonna be in anybody's history books unless it's, you know, one case can ruin your career. Alright, let's go to the, um, Haitian what is it? Haitian seems to be written by AI. This has been reported on and happened a little bit ago, but like I said, I have not been on in a while. So we are going to share screen and look. Laura Owens, one possible person on her side, and it's a robot computer in my All right. We have Live Say Haiti. This was written Christmas Eve 2024 by Haider Ali. I hope that he had permission to use the red sweater pic because you have to have permission to use that pic. Laura Owens Introduction to Laura Owens Clayton Eckerd. English might not be this person's first language because introduction to Laura Owens Clayton Eckerd sounds like one person. Maybe it should be Laura Owens and Clayton Eckerd, but we're not gonna really focus on that part. The world of reality TV often serves up unexpected twists, and Laura Owens Clayton Eckerd is no stranger to the drama. Except for Laura Owens is not on reality TV. Known for her captivating presence on screen and her connection with viewers, what presence has she ever had on screen and viewers? She doesn't have viewers. She would have listeners on a podcast because she wasn't on TV. She recently made headlines that have fans buzzing. No, it does not have fans buzzing. With the announcement of a new chapter in her life, pregnancy, comes not just excitement, but also a whirlwind of legal battles that have caught everyone's attention. When was there excitement? I don't There was no excitement in the pregnancy. Excitement that she's gonna ruin another man's life maybe because apparently she gets off doing that. Excitement that she is going to hopefully trap this guy because she hadn't been able to trap any of the other guys. Like, maybe that excitement? Whirlwind of legal battles caught everyone's attention. As we dive into this unfolding story, it is clear that Laura's journey is anything but ordinary. That's true. What lies ahead for this dynamic duo? They are not a duo. They are not together. We're never together. Let's explore the complexities surrounding their lives as they navigate through joy and challenges alike. Clayton has no joy in anything with her except for May 20th, twice, and that wasn't about her. That was just about his jollies. The announcement of her pregnancy. The moment Laura Owen shared her pregnancy news, the world took notice. No, they didn't. Nobody even knew about it until later. May, and then we all started covering it maybe a year ago, like last January, I think is when most of us started covering it. Her announcement sparked excitement across social media platforms. No, it did not. No, nobody was excited for this. Maybe her and her delusion and her mom and dad believing her and thinking they're gonna become a grandparent again. Nobody on social media platforms was sparked had any sparked excitement over this. Fans flooded her posts with joyful messages and congratulations. No, her father's fans flooded her posts. Many expressed their elation for this new chapter in Laura's life. The support was overwhelming, showcasing the love she has garnered over time. Okay. Laura chose a heartfelt approach to reveal her pregnancy. She posted a series of adorable photos that captured the essence of the significant milestones. No, she didn't. She threatened to make a post, but I don't think she actually ever posted the coming in 2024, Valentine's. I don't think she even posted that. I think she threatened to post that. I don't think she actually ended up. She didn't take a picture and show her pregnant belly every week and, like, what a heartfelt approach to reveal her she contacted the Sun to reveal her pregnancy. Like, okay. Adorable photos. Each image radiated happiness, making it clear how cherished this moment truly is for her. Well, yeah, cherish each moment. I mean, this is only like the 5th, 6th time she's done had pregnancies in her life. Responses varied widely, but mostly leaned towards joy and encouragement. Friends and families chimed in as well, sharing their own enthusiasm about becoming relatives once again. What? Relatives once again? You just stopped being relatives and now somebody's having a baby and you're related again? Like, okay. The announcement not only marks a personal journey for Laura, but also connects her deeper to fans who have followed her story closely through the years. Okay. Okay, robot. No, they weren't. Those were not there was nothing elated or joyous or radiating of happiness, like, nothing. But apparently, they can be related against because of this. Legal battles surrounding the news. The news of Laura Owen's pregnancy with Clayton Eckert has stirred more than just excitement. Nobody has been excited. It was ignited firestorm of legal disputes that many did not anticipate. She started the suit by filing a parenting plan and custody and child support for 4-month fake fetuses. As details emerged, claims about potential custody arrangement and financial responsibilities took center stage. Yes, 4 months gestation. Both parties appeared to be navigating uncharted waters. No, 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 both parties did not appear to be navigating uncharted waters. She has been navigating these waters for 10 years. Clayton was in uncharted waters, waters that are not even on a map anywhere, where emotions run high and stakes are high, even higher. Friends and insiders reveal that this unexpected twist in their lives is far from simple. Well, you can say that again. Legal documents have reportedly been filed. Ma'am, what is her name? Hater, which is weird because maybe it's written by a hater. I don't okay. Hater, um, as of Christmas Eve 2024, legal documents were not reportedly had been filed. The case was done, aside from the appeal. Uh, so Journalistic integrity, people. Hinting at disagreements over parenting plans. Yes, those were filed over a year ago, and the case has ended. Speculation swirls around the implications for both Laura's career and Clayton's public image. Fans watched closely as these developments unfolded, uncertain of what lies ahead for the couple and amidst the turbulence. Yes, we were. We were looking at what was going to unfold because we were going to be like, dude, if you had sex with her, just say you had sex with her. Like, because if you lie and say it was just a BJ and she is pregnant, you have some explaining to do. But it turned out that he did not have some explaining to do. Owens had some explaining to do. Let me turn these things off. I don't know if that will turn it off or not. Those are not my headsets, those are my son's. Okay. The spotlight on their personal lives only intensifies with each new revelation regarding their legal battles. Controversy and criticism. Laura Owens and Clayton Eckerd have found themselves at the center of several controversies following their pregnancy announcement. He didn't make a pregnancy announcement. He was not in on any of that. The public eye firmly on them. Every detail has attracted scrutiny. Be and it deserves scrutiny, and it deserves to have been picked through with a fine tooth comb, a magnifying glass, everything. Be careful driving, Teresa. Critics have raised questions about their relationship dynamics. No, nobody has wondered about their relationship because there was no relationship. Some speculate whether the timing was planned or surprised. Who is speculating that this was planned? Like, I mean, it might have been planned by her, but it was not like a planned thing with them. It wasn't like, "Oh, yeah, we planned it," or, "Oops, we just one night, surprise." No, it was a surprise for Clayton, planned by Owens. But as a couple, nobody was speculating on whether it was planned or surprised. The uncertainty fuels gossip that overshadows their joy. Social media adds another layer to the storm. Many fans express support. What? Many fans express support. Please show us them. Yet others voice harsh judgment about their choices. No, it's not about their choices. It is about her choices. The dichotomy of opinions can be overwhelming for anyone in such a vulnerable position. Moreover, legal battles complicate matters. As new developments unfold, some critics argue that these challenges could impact Laura's journey into motherhood. No, there is no journey into motherhood. Whether she was actually pregnant or not pregnant, she does not have a journey into motherhood, especially at this point because there are no babies. So the challenges did not impact her journey into motherhood. Navigating through public criticism while preparing for a baby is no small feat. She wasn't preparing for a baby while she was dealing with criticism. Each day brings fresh commentary from both sides as they strive to maintain focus amidst the chaos surrounding them. It's really interesting because they use amidst quite a bit. Like, how often do you get to use the word amidst, let alone twice in one article? Support from fans and loved ones. As news of Laura Owens and Clayton Ecker's pregnancy spread, an outpouring of support filled social media platforms. Fans expressed their excitement with heartfelt messages and well wishes. Friends and families have rallied around them during this tumultuous time. Personal connections often become a source of strength in challenging situations like these. The couple received numerous gift cards and encouraging words from loved ones. They're not a couple, and Clayton did not get gifts or cards congratulating him on being a father. They did not have a baby shower. Eh, it's genuinely heartwarming to witness such genuine care from those who know them best. No, they were not met with these things. These things did not happen. Support groups within the fan community also emerged. People shared stories about their own experiences with pregnancy challenges, creating a sense of camaraderie. No, we do not have camaraderie. Many people have shared experiences with pregnancy challenges out of being livid. I have shared my own, and it's not a sense of camaraderie, except for the people that have been offended and absolutely livid because someone is pretending to be like people who have gone through these things. We do not have a sense of camaraderie with Owen. Correct, RJ. They were not a couple. They were not boyfriend and girlfriend. Greg Gillespie was not boyfriend and girlfriend. The only one that was boyfriend and girlfriend was Mary. This wave of positivity provides comfort amid uncertainty for both Laura and Clayton. Knowing that they are not alone makes all the difference as they navigate upcoming challenges or changes together. They are not navigating changes together. There's no changes together. They're not navigating this as of Christmas Eve that just happened. None of this has happened. This is how you know this is all BS. I don't care who it was written by, a robot, whoever, but whoever wrote this, like, it doesn't even sound like Owens, because Owens wouldn't have made all this stuff cheery and acting. I don't even think she could have written this because it just no. A prompt ChatGPT could have wrote this. Handling pregnancy and legal issues in the public eye. Navigating pregnancy while facing legal challenges is no easy feat, especially under the watchful eyes of the public. For Laura Owens and Clayton Eckerd, every decision becomes magnified. Pregnancy often brings a mix of excitement and anxiety. When layered with legal battles and feelings can intensify, they must find balance amidst, third time I'm using amidst, relentless scrutiny. They use scrutiny a lot too. Social media adds another layer to this complex situation. Supportive messages flood in alongside harsh criticism. The duality, oh my gosh. The duality can be overwhelming for any expectant parent. Maintaining mental well being is crucial during this time. Seeking support from family and close friends helps shield against external negativity. Transparency might feel daunting, but can foster connection with fans who emphasize with their journey. Nobody emphasizes with their journey. Sharing experiences may create a sense of community. Yeah, you know what? It did, but it's a community with y'all, not a community with them. We have all come together and created a sense of community by sharing our experiences, sharing our opinions and like-minded views on things. We create a community together. eases some burdens they face as public figures dealing with both joy and strife simultaneously. They are not do Clayton has no joy in dealing with her at all. Conclusion, looking towards the future. As Laura Owens and Clayton Eckerd navigate this complex moment in their lives, the future holds both promises and challenge. The couple's announcement of impending parenthood has undoubtedly brought joy, but has also opened the door to various legal battles that demand attention. There is no impending parenthood as of Christmas Eve. Like, this would be one thing if this was written before she had lost the so-called twins. This would be different if this was written before the case ended, but as of Christmas Eve of 2024, nothing is impending of parenthood, no matter what side of the aisle you sit on for this. Fans are eager to see how they managed these challenges while preparing for a new chapter as parents. They are not preparing for a new chapter as parents. Their journey is unfolding in the public eye, where scrutiny, once again, can be relentless. Yet, with the support from loved ones and fans alike, there's a hope that they will emerge stronger together. No, there is no hope of them doing anything together. None. This is why this is not based in reality. While uncertainties linger regarding legal struggles, one thing remains clear: Laura Owens and Clayton Eckards have captured the interest of many. Yes, that is true. As they step into this exciting yet tumultuous time ahead. No, there is no exciting time ahead except for to get away from Owens. Followers will surely continue to rally behind them. The world watches closely as their story unfolds, one filled with love, resilience, and growth on the horizon. No, is no filled with love. And I hope there's growth on the horizon for Owens. I hope she grows as a person and stops all this crap. Frequently asked questions. What is Laura Owens Clayton Eckerd? Laura Owens and Clayton Eckerd are a couple who recently made headlines due to Owens' pregnancy and their ongoing legal battle, captivating public attention. Why are Laura Owens and Clayton Eckerd facing legal issues? The couple's pregnancy announcement had led to legal disputes concerning custody arrangements and financial responsibilities, fueling public speculation. How have fans reacted to Laura Owens' news? Excitement, overwhelming support, well wishes, while the others have raised questions about the couple's relationship and dynamics. What challenges are Laura Owens and Clayton facing in the public eye? Alongside their pregnancy, the couple must navigate legal battles, public scrutiny, and criticism, all while preparing for the arrival of their child. They are not doing any of this as of Christmas Eve. With support, how are Laura and Clayton handling the pressure? With support from loved ones and their fans, the couple, they are not a couple, strives to manage their legal struggles while embracing the joy of parenthood amidst the amidst the intense public spotlight. Why, if they are a couple and they are embracing the joy of parenthood in the spotlight, are they in a legal battle over financial responsibilities and custody arrangements if they are a couple? Ugh, I wanna leave a comment so bad, but just, like, no, absolutely no. I just this Yes. I think many of us were that way. When we learned of the case, we weren't sure who to believe because a guy's like, "No, I didn't sleep with her, dude," and it's like, "Okay, well, why is she pregnant with your kid?" And then she's pregnant with your kid. And if she was telling the truth, I would've been like, "Dude, just fess up to sleeping with her. You can say she's crazy and like, she just has an attachment issue and stuff like that, and you regret doing it, but if you did it, just say you did it because the truth is gonna come out, like, if you slept with her and she's pregnant, then she's pregnant, but that's not even what happened. I was explaining this case to an attorney yesterday, and they were like, "What?" It Nothing makes sense in this case, uh, and the fact that she just keeps doubling down. And something that's gonna become very interesting is because a lot of times attorneys will very rarely speak out to the public, um, on their own or on behalf of their client. Like in the Karen Reed case, they do speak out and she's standing with them and stuff like that. But a lot of times the attorneys don't give public statements. Like Greg Woodnick is not out here giving public statements. He issued one right after the um, deposition, and that was on behalf of Clayton because one, there's attorney-client privilege, and I am a little worried. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know for sure if the fact that Laura's attorney has just spoken about anything and everything and said all this, which is on behalf of her because he represents her. So anything that he says out of his mouth about this case is on behalf of her. It is basically her speaking through him. That she has waived attorney-client privilege with Gingras. That their conversations are not necessarily private anymore because she has told him he can just freely speak about this case. Maybe it's only things that she gives permission to, and there's other stuff, but when she starts speaking on behalf of your client, it becomes a little dicey. Um, some examples of when attorneys should have shut their mouths is the Gabby Petito case, where the laundry's attorney came out and stated that they hoped that Gabby was found safe and all this stuff while knowing that she wasn't, and the attorney, they're like, "Well, they shouldn't get in trouble because I said something," and it's like, "But you are speaking as their mouthpiece, basically." And so, like, and your attorney says something, it's basically like you're saying it. So she should watch out for that, but she doesn't. Another example is that Johnny Depp, in part of the Amber Heard case, is that Johnny was sued because of what his lawyer, Adam Waldman, had said. And Adam Waldman is like, "I was just speaking on my own," but because he was representing Johnny Depp, people took it as he was speaking as Johnny Depp's opinion about this. And so Johnny Depp was held responsible for what his attorney said. And even though it didn't come out of Johnny Depp's mouth. So while Gingras is saying all of this crap and Owens isn't saying certain things, like Gingras is admitting all these things, admits that it was her sister's sonogram, and admits, oh, she wasn't going to keep the babies. Um, while he's making all these tiny admissions out here, it can be construed as It is Owen saying those things, but Gingras is her mouthpiece, and that's why while you should keep your mouth shut in the middle of a case, your attorney also can't just be out there saying things all willy-nilly because it can be used against you. But that's something that a smart attorney would be telling you, which we do not have on her side of the case. That part I am sad to see because she deserves to have an attorney who is going to do right by her. If she is paying money to him or whatever it is, everybody deserves proper, representation, and she's not getting that. Or I don't know, first time this case, anything he said. Right. If anything that's said in front of a third party is not attorney-client privilege. So, anything that's on that podcast that they did at PS Creative, because they did it in front of people and with other people in the room, and anything their Santa Claus stream on Gingras' channel, anything that is said in that, none of that is attorney-client privilege because it's shared with other people. If one other person is in the room, it is not attorney-client privilege. In order for it to be attorney-client privilege, then Owens would have to Laura Owens would have to be his client, which we know she is, but Jan would have to be his client as well in order for it to be attorney-client privilege. But I am think there's a lot of attorney-client privilege that has been waived. Yeah, and that's not good either because you want the stuff that's said with your lawyer to be in confidential. You don't want all that stuff. Like, Laura should not have wanted her lawyer to be like, "Yeah, it was her sister's sonogram. So what? So what? You're under a criminal investigation." Your attorney should be keeping his mouth shut because anything he says is basically you saying it. Let her. She is bored and needs a hobby. It's not going to do anything, and she can try running interference, but she can be charged with obstructing justice and tampering with evidence just as well, because she has. But they need to be careful. They're not going to, and of course, they would not take the advice of somebody that is in the JFC community, but she needs to start being smart about something. Like, you wanna continue with your lies, whatever, but for the love of God, find somebody who's going to represent you in your lies on your behalf, like, is actually good representation for you, because right now you do not have that. It's awful. Um, but, she's doing it to herself, and people have warned her and tried to tell her, and she won't listen. She never does. Um, alright, one last thing before we get out of here. I made a community post and a Twitter post about it. Um, this will be linked in the description box as well. We have dropped our first piece of merch. And so here it is. It's our I won't be silenced, loud little ducky. Um, and it's black, neutral, and like a light pink, basically, a short sleeve. and you can now purchase these, and then they will be sent out. So that is our first piece of merch. Um, so if you want that, I will link that in the description box of this as well. But thank you for joining me. We covered quite a bit. We're kind of caught up for now. Um, I kind of secretly want to do a stream about Chingris's content, or at least take clips. Let me see if I can link that in the chat. Um, okay, let me see. Uh-oh. Oh, let's see here. I don't know if this is the right link, but that's what it's pulled up to on my thing. I don't know if that'll work or not. Let's see here. I don't know if he has. I haven't looked at his channel. I haven't ever watched any of his videos. I've seen clips and stuff, and that's kind of if I ever covered his content, that would be kind of what the way I did it was I would take clips and then react to those particular parts, um, not watch the whole stream, but and, he can come after me, but, like, I have nothing. I have a lot of medical debt because my life is my health is awesome. Um, but yeah. So, thank you for coming on with me and hanging. Hopefully we get to do more of these in the future. I'm going to drop a Who's Who and Karen Reed uh, tonight or tomorrow morning, and then we will go from there. We will cover the response to the appeal brief by Eckert and Woodnick when that comes out. And if other things pop up in this case, I'm still waiting for extra stuff and more stuff to be happening in the Sandra Birchmore case. Um, there's another live that I want to do that is going over some kind of hot topic, and a video about some stereotypes that I kinda wanna go over with some of y'all, and we can check our own biases, and that could become a series because they it's good to check our own stereotypes and biases and see if, um, we can improve ourselves on some of those, um, and if the stereotypes and the biases were correct. There's many a videos to do that. So, maybe in the next couple of days or maybe next week, we might do the hot topics and checking our biases stream that I have been wanting to do for a really long time. We may do some Reddit stories and then see what else comes out, but we are gonna be moving on to other cases, and the way I do things is timeline fashion. I just like to put out, "These are the way things happen, this is how it is." So, subscribe, like, if you wanna continue supporting this, and I will see you guys later. Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are watching this.